Yo, what's good, yo? I'm JB Hoops, and today I got my Mark Williams breakdown video. He's one of the best centers in this class, an elite defender, and let's get into breaking his game down. Starting off quickly with his stats, Mark Williams is a 7-footer and 20 years old, and has an incredible 7'7" wingspan. On the season, the sophomore out of Duke averaged 11.2 points per game, 7.4 rebounds, and 2.8 blocks per game, shooting an incredible 72.1% from the field, and a very solid 72.7% from the stripe. Now let's get into breaking down his most valuable NBA attribute, which is his defense. Starting off with his rim protection, Mark Williams is an elite shot blocker. He won the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. He's an elite shot blocker, averaging 2.8 blocks per game in under 24 minutes a game, and has excellent timing. He uses his massive 7'7" wingspan to his advantage. He's very good at positioning himself and staying vertical, and he uses his astounding 9'8" standing reach. Basically can touch the rim without jumping, as well as his great vertical athleticism to contest or block almost everything in the paint. Mark Williams is also pretty good at not falling for fakes. He has great timing with his blocks and doesn't leave his feet too early, and he's also very impactful as a weak side shot blocker. And I think his rim protection will translate seamlessly to the NBA, and with his measurables and shot blocking instincts, he'll be up there leading the league if he gets minutes. Now on to probably one of the most important defensive skill sets to have for a center, and that is the ability to defend the pick and roll, which Mark Williams is very solid at. He excels in drop coverage, the most common coverage in the NBA, and I think it will seamlessly translate to the league. Mark Williams has pretty quick reaction time to moves, and is able to move well enough laterally or make up for his shortcomings in speed with his length to make life difficult for the offense. He's also very good at recovering when hedging on screens. However, I did notice in a few games that he did seem to drop very low on his drop coverage, and he was kind of just giving up the shot to the guard. That could be just defensive schemes, but he will need to step up a little in the NBA with better shot makers. Next up, onto his perimeter defense. Mark Williams is a pretty solid perimeter defender, and his length definitely helps him a lot in this area. He can move his feet quick enough in space. He's nothing special when it comes to defending the perimeter, but I think he's better than you'd expect from a guy with his size and build. He's quite good at flipping his hips and using his length to force guards into tough shots. He's also pretty good at funneling guards to the short corner where he can easily get a block and just force them into a bad shot. However, I also did notice that there's a few times where he just isn't switched on. He gets beaten too easy or he leaves his hands down, which just allows a guard to score easily. So he will need to be more attentive in the NBA, otherwise he will get punished and have his minutes heavily restricted. Other concerns I have with his defense are obviously foul trouble. Now Mark Williams is very good at playing defense without fouling usually, but he did have 14 games with 3 or more fouls this season, and a few other times with his minutes restricted due to early foul trouble. So whilst he is pretty disciplined on defense, he does pick up a few dumb fouls here and there by chasing blocks and falling for fakes. And there's also just a few stupid fouls due to his over-aggressiveness on the offensive glass. Mark Williams also isn't the best at staying vertical. A lot of the times his arms come down and he tries to block the shot, even though with his length and strength, it would probably be better to just stay vertical, given it's pretty hard to finish over someone with a 9'8" standing reach. Next up, I want to talk about his finishing. The majority of Mark Williams' offense comes from catching the ball in the paint and finishing strong inside. He isn't the most skilled big man, he's kind of one-dimensional, but I don't think that's necessarily an issue because with the way he plays, he is elite at pretty much everything he does. So first up, I want to talk about his vertical spacing. Mark Williams is an effortless athlete. He's elite in the dunker spot. He can quickly sky high for lobs, reaching up to stuff only he can grab. But he's also excellent at powerfully finishing off dump-off passes. Mark Williams has an insane leaping ability, excellent timing, and he's super long armed. And with his vertical spacing, it just makes it really hard for the big man to defend guards when they get downhill, with the threat of Mark Williams jamming one on their head always on their mind. Another way Mark Williams gets his point is as a roll man. Mark Williams is very good as a pick and roll finisher. He's a powerful dunker, looks like he's about to break the rim on half his finishes. He explodes up and hammers his dunks home with authority. He's able to set good, strong and hard screens and has super long strides to quickly get to the bucket, where he's almost a certainty to score. He shot 78.1% at the rim this season, and I'm pretty sure he had the most dunks in college basketball, which is very impressive. Although the one area of improvement when it comes to his rolling ability is he doesn't have super great hands to catch difficult passes and sometimes even just fumbles basic passes, which just leads to wasted opportunities for easy buckets. But the majority of the time Mark Williams is in the pick and roll, it's a guaranteed bucket. Mark Williams is also an excellent offensive rebounder, averaging 2.6 per game in under 24 minutes a game. He's great at using his huge frame and long arms to box out and reach up to get any rebound. but he also has a great second jump ability to crash the glass and quickly go back up and throw it down. Another area Mark Williams excels is as a rim runner. He has an excellent motor, he sprints down the court every time and consistently beats his man down the floor. I think this is where a lot of his buckets are going to come from because he is a pretty conventional center, finishing in the paint, running the floor hard and protecting the rim on the other side. But with his rim running, he gets a lot of easy dunks, and because he's quicker than most bigs, it forces an outnumber in transition, which just helps his team drastically. Now finally, with his finishing, I want to talk about his touch. His touch around the basket is definitely an area of improvement, but he didn't really get to showcase a whole lot of it because the majority of his finishes were dunks. But in the attempts we did get to see, he does have pretty soft touch with his right hand. He showcased a few nice push shots and jump hooks, and he was also pretty good at finishing through contact. The one area I think he struggles with is finishing with his left hand. He doesn't have great touch on that and will most of the time go to his right hook over his left shoulder. But there was also a few times where he just smoked easy layups and simple putbacks, which he'll have to make in the league if he wants to get consistent minutes. But with more spacing, I think it will only help him even more, and he'll be an elite finisher in the NBA. Next up, I want to talk about his passing ability. For Mark Williams, I think this is the biggest area he needs to improve in, because he is not a very good passer. His decision making isn't too bad, he makes pretty quick reads, but the accuracy and timing just isn't up to par. But the area I think he struggles the most is when he's forced to put the ball on the floor. He struggles tremendously when he's forced to take more than 1 or 2 dribbles and just fumbles the ball or is forced to pick it up, which he will need to get better at in the NBA for like dribble handoffs and stuff like that. But as a conventional center with a 7'7" wingspan, a great rebounder and excellent finisher, he gives you pretty much all you want from the center, except for this next thing I'm going to talk about, which is his shooting ability. Now, he isn't really a jump shooter, although he did shoot 43.5% on shots outside of the restricted area. However, over 90% of these were floaters and push shots. But there was also a few jumpers that didn't look too terrible, but as of now, it's not really a part of his game. His form isn't too bad, it's about what you'd expect from a center, but what is at least promising is the fact that he did shoot 72.7% from the line, and for most of the season it was about 75%. So I think eventually there is some potential for him to hit a few mid-range shots and face up a little bit, but I think ball security will be his main issue, which he'll need to improve on. Alright, that is all I got for this one. Mark Williams is probably one of the best centers in this class. Will probably end up being a top 20 pick, some have him as high as the lottery, I don't know about that. But I think he's pretty firmly in the top 20 for me. He's an excellent NBA ready center who will give impactful minutes right away in the league, and I think there's a lot of teams that will love to have him. Alright, that's all I got for this one. Leave a like down below, subscribe for more. JB Hoops, out.